Good day and welcome to my Witchcraft History series. In this video, I am going to be sharing information about the Roman witch. The Romans feared witchcraft and magic. That is to say, the Roman elites feared magic because they felt vulnerable to it. Even if you were a powerful senator or an almighty emperor, you could still fall victim to attack from evil spells. As early as 450 BC, the Romans had laws against what they called beneficia. I'm probably saying that wrong. And what it was acts of harmful magic. These included evil charms or incantations against people, or using magic to spirit fruit or vegetables away from someone else's crop and into their own. More dramatically still, there were two mass persecutions of people using magic during 184 to 183 BC, and also in 180 to 179 BC. Pardon me. Where possibly as many as 5,000 people in all were executed for using harmful magic. This was followed in 81 BC with Sulia's law dealing with murder and acts of poisoning. Which was aimed primarily at poisoning, but came to include magical rituals involving herbs. Then, in 33 BC, hundreds, if not thousands, of astrologers and necromancers were expelled from Rome. Later still, the First Roman Empire, Augustus, 27 BC to 14 AD, ordered that some 2,000 books of magical spells or grimoires should be collected and burned in case their magic should be used against them. Such measures show that the Roman state was fearful of those things it felt and could not control. It must be remembered that these events were well before the Christian era. Rome encouraged or tolerated belief in a variety of pagan gods and magical rituals in the context of state-sanctioned faiths. With their lavish temples and wealthy and powerful religions could be acceptable. This distraction is similar to that made by the Greeks, who happily embraced those who practiced theogoria or divine magic. Magic that was effectively part of a mystery religion. What could not be tolerated in such a centralized society were individuals or small groups who did not fit into the system and who in particular were suspected of causing harm by witchcraft. Such threats, then identified, were therefore met with ruthless repression. It was a pattern that would be repeated with even more force in Europe well over 1,000 years later. There was a crucial difference, however. The pre-Christian Roman elite were motivated entirely by reasons of statecraft. That is their desire to remain in control at all costs and to eliminate all opposition. Their beliefs in pagan gods played little or no part in this repression. It was not alternative belief systems that the Romans feared, but the very real danger, as they saw it, of practical magic and subversive sides. In contrast, the later Christian elite, while also determined to maintain power and status, added a new factor into the equation of their persecution of witches, religious dogma. Before the Western Roman Empire's eventual demise of the 5th century, it gave the world an immensely powerful legacy, a centralized and organized Christian church. Until the time that Rome adopted the Christian faith as one of its religions, Christianity had been simply another faith competing for support in the first 3 centuries of the first millennium AD. It was persecuted by those in power, cruelly at times by emperors such as Nero, and deeply split a different faction in belief. There was at this time no agreed set of beliefs for the people who generally called themselves Christians. All this was to change after the emergence of Constantine as emperor. The story of Emperor Constantine is important in the history of witchcraft because it was during his reign that Christianity first acquired formal acceptance in the most powerful empire of the world. As we will see, this quickly led to the primacy of Christianity and to the exclusion of all other faiths. The pagan gods, those who underpinned the beliefs of the practitioners of high magic then and of the modern witchcraft religion now, were to be abruptly stopped. But the supremacy of Christianity did not seem inevitable when Constantine defeated his rival Maxentius in battle in 312 AD. Before that battle, Constantine is said to have had a vision of a cross appearing in the sky with the words in Latin, "In this sign you will be victorious." Whatever the truth of what Constantine experienced, Christians ascribed that victory to the emperor's vision, and he adopted the cross as his emblem. The following year, in 303 AD, he and his co-emperor Licinius issued the famous Edict of Milan, which gave the Christian religion lawful status in the empire. This was an important moment for Christians who became under the recent emperor has suffered widespread persecution. However, this edict did not yet establish Christianity as the main religion of the empire. There has been much debate about the true motives of Constantine and his apparent conversion to Christianity. Some take his actions at face value and see him a devout man, the first Christian Roman emperor, who was motivated by his newfound faith. The opposing view is that Constantine was a clever politician who saw in the emerging faith as Christianity the chance to forge unity in a troubled empire. A third approach is to regard Constantine as a gradual convert to Christianity, but someone still surrounded by the comfortable with pagan beliefs and believers. Certainly, the evidence is that the king was not baptized a Christian until he was on his deathbed. One of Constantine's greatest gifts to Christianity was his attempt to bring doctrinal unity to the faith, and then to enforce that unity with the power of the empire. It was Constantine who arranged the first council of Nicaea in 325. This presided over the important matter of whether the Son, Jesus, was equivalent in status to the Father God. Though this debate was to rage for many years, the very fact of that meeting and later ones established a process for ironing out doctrinal conflict in the Christian church. This assessment was in turn backed by the power and authority of the state. It also meant the boundaries of Christianity could in time become clear. If you did not agree with the orthodox view, then you were self-evidently either a heretic or a pagan. A little more than half a century after Constantine's reign, the official faith of the empire was exclusively Christian. Rival faiths, which had remarkably similar beliefs to Christianity and had been the religion of choice for many Roman soldiers in the empire's glory, quickly disappeared as serious threats. The statues, buildings, and writings relating to pagan worship were destroyed, and as Christians had been before, pagan worshippers were persecuted, notably under the emperors Valens and Theodosius. The outlawed pagan worship in 392 AD. For those who practiced magic, the situation was still worse. Under pre-Christian Roman law, those who used magic to harm others or were suspected of doing so would be executed. Under the Christian emperors, however, anyone who practiced magic, who even wore just an amulet, would face execution. For witches, the Roman Empire had often been a difficult and dangerous place. The future now looked even bleaker. I hope you learned something new about the history of witchcraft. If you would like to follow the actual timeline of the history I'm going through, part 1 starts the timeline of the history of witchcraft. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Many blessings to you. Bye-bye.